So today's video is about finding the area of a trapezoid. So let's first look at what makes up a trapezoid. So a trapezoid is made up of two triangles and one rectangle. So if I were to take two triangles and put it together with one rectangle, it's going to create a trapezoid. Another way that you can create a trapezoid is to take one rectangle and to put it together with one triangle, and again, it's going to create a trapezoid. So a trapezoid is made up of either two triangles and one rectangle, or one triangle and one rectangle. So how can we break up a trapezoid to find area? So I've been given this trapezoid here, and they told me that the top of the trapezoid is 6 centimeters, the bottom is 14 centimeters, and that the height of it is 8 centimeters. So I'm going to first break this into parts. So when I break up this trapezoid, I notice that I can break it into two triangles and one rectangle. So once I break it into two triangles and one rectangle, I need to fill in the dimensions of each one of those shapes. So I need to fill in the base and the height of the triangle, and then I need to fill in the length and the width of the rectangle because I want to find the area. So I know that the height of the triangle and the height of the rectangle, those are going to be the same because when I break it off here, they all have a height of 8 centimeters. So if you can see here, I've labeled each one with a height of 8 centimeters. Now as far as the base, well, I know that the bottom of this trapezoid is 14 centimeters total. That means the base of the triangle plus the base of the rectangle plus the base of the other triangle should give me a total of 14 centimeters. So when I break it into parts, I notice that the rectangle is going to have the same height and base. Not the same top and the same bottom. So that means that the top of the rectangle is 6 centimeters. The bottom has to also be 6 centimeters. So if the bottom of the rectangle is 6 centimeters, well, that means out of the 14 centimeters, 6 of it is going with the rectangle, which means the other 8 has to go with the triangles. Well, we notice that the two triangles are the same size. So that means we have to take those 8 centimeters and divide it up with the two triangles. So that means this triangle has a base of 4 and this triangle has a base of 4 as well. And if we were to put those together, it should give us 14. So if we put 4 plus 6 plus 4, we do notice that we have 14 centimeters. So that's where the 14 centimeters came from. Now that we've broken the trapezoid into smaller shapes, we can find the area of each one of those pieces. So I'm going to start by finding the area of this triangle. So to find the area of a triangle, we have to use the formula base times height divided by 2. Well, we know that the base of the triangle is 4 and that the height is 8. So that means we're going to do 4 times 8, which is 32. Divide that by 2, which means the area of the triangle is 16 centimeters squared. Now, I'm going to find now the area of the rectangle, and I know to find the area of a rectangle, we do length times width. Well, I know that the length of the triangle, the length of this rectangle is 6, and then the width of this rectangle is 8. So to find the area, I have to do 6 times 8, which gives me a total area of 48 centimeters squared. Now I need to find the area of this triangle here. This triangle again has a base of 4 and a height of 8. So I have to use the formula base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to do 4 times 8 divided by 2. And 4 times 8 is 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So this triangle also has an area of 16 centimeters squared. So once you find the area of each piece, to get the total area of the trapezoid, you must add all the areas together. So I have to take each one of these areas and then put them back together so that I can get the total area of the whole trapezoid. So that means I have to take the 16 centimeters, add it to the 48 centimeters, and add that to the other 16 centimeter, which is going to give me a total area of 80 centimeters squared. What that means is that this trapezoid has an area of 80 centimeters squared. So let's find the area of this trapezoid. Now to find the area of this trapezoid, I have to break it into parts, or I have to break it into pieces. So let's break it up. If I break it into pieces, that means I can pretty much break it into one triangle here, a rectangle here in the middle, and then a triangle here on the end. And once I've broken it into the parts, I have to remember to find the dimensions, the base and the height, or the length and the width of each one of the shapes. So that means if I've got this triangle, I need the base and the height so I can find the area. If I've got this rectangle, I need the length and the width so I can find the area. And if I have this triangle, again, I need the base and the height so that I can find the area. Well, I know that the top of the rectangle is 5 inches, and then I know the bottom of this whole thing is 9 inches. But remember, I've broken it into these 3 pieces, so this 9 inches has got to get broken into 3 pieces. So when I look at the 9 inches, I need to look at each one of those shapes. Well, I know that this bottom part is no longer going to be 9 inches. It's actually going to be the same as the top of the rectangle. So that means this bottom piece is going to have a length of 5 inches. Now, if this piece here has a length of 5 inches, and I know that the total is 9 inches, then I have to figure out what the 2 pieces of the triangle are. Well, if it's 9 inches in all, and this part is 5, that means there are 4 inches left over. So that means that this has to be 2 inches, and this also has to be 2 inches. And then I know that the height of the rectangle and the height of the triangles will be the same. So they all have a height of 6. So now I want to find the area. So to find the area, I have to start by finding the area of the rectangle, of the triangle. So if I look at the triangle, this triangle has a base of 2 and a height of 6. So I'm using the formula base times height divided by 2. Well, I know that the base times height would give me 12, and then 12 divided by 2 will give me 6. So that means that this triangle here has an area of 6 inches. If this has an area of 6 inches, then that means this triangle here also has an area of 6 inches. And now I want to find the area of the rectangle here in the middle. And the rectangle here in the middle has a length of 5 and a width of 6. So that means the area of the rectangle is going to be 5 times 6, which means that the area of the rectangle is 30 inches squared. So the 2 triangles have areas of 6 inches squared, and then the rectangle in the middle has an area of 30 inches squared. So in order for me to find the total area, I must do 6 plus 30 plus 6, which gives me a total area of 42 inches squared. Now with this trapezoid, it's a little bit different because this trapezoid can only be broken into 2 different shapes. And if we notice, it's going to be broken into 1 rectangle and 1 triangle. So again, I've got to figure out those dimensions. Well, I know with this rectangle, the top of it is 12. That means the bottom has to also be 12 inches. Well, right now we're showing that the whole thing is 20 inches. So that means if this piece here is 12 inches, then that means if the whole thing is supposed to be 20, and if this piece is 12, then that means the base of the triangle has to be 8 inches, because together it has to still equal that 20 inches. So now that I know the dimensions, now I can find the area. So I need to find the area of the rectangle, and then I need to find the area of the triangle. Well, the area of the rectangle, I'm going to use the formula length times width, which means that the area will be 12 times 6, which is 72 inches squared. Then with the triangle, I need to do base times height divided by 2. Well, I know that the height of the rectangle and the height of the triangle are the same, so they both have a height of 6. And then the base of the triangle is 8, so I have to do 8 times 6, which is 48, and then 48 divided by 2, which is 24. So it has an area of 24 inches squared. And to get the total area, I'm going to do 72 plus 24, which gives me a total area of 96 inches squared. So when you're finding the area of a trapezoid, remember, you're going to break it into parts. It can either be 1 rectangle and 1 triangle, or 1 rectangle and 2 triangles. Once you break it into parts, find the area of each piece and then add all of those pieces together.